United Grind Society presents The Turntable, where we discuss everything relevant to hip-hop. I'm your host, Haiku, and today we're going to be talking about hip-hop's most tragic falls from grace, the wasted potential, the careers that were cut short, the would and could be legends. All of that and more on The Turntable. This episode is brought to you by the new 90s Spotify playlist. Make sure y'all stream it, check that out when you get an opportunity. Before we jump into this topic, definitely want to introduce, or they can introduce themselves, the panel. So to my left, we have
Siege from the Mighty E-Dot.
And then to his left,
Speed from Rhyme Royal. His name is Speed.
There we go. And then to my right,
absolutely, you already know what it is. Jinx, United Grind official, man. What's up?
All right. So this topic today, I think, is an interesting one. I've liked all the topics that we've had, but I think this one is definitely one that kind of hits a little hard, right? We're going to talk about MCs that have fallen from grace, and for one reason or another, they just didn't live up to the potential, didn't live up to the hype, and we thought they could have been a whole lot more than what they ended up being. So, I know you guys got some names. So
I just want to preface it by almost everybody on my list. I thought that was the topic. Like, I really liked these artists, or these artists were really good at one time, and then for whatever reason they're not up to that standard. I first want to say, like, life happens to cats. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where I don't think dudes want to make whack music or don't want to rap as well as they used to. It's just stuff happens, and then you end up where you at.
Okay.
So hunger might not be there.
The hunger might not be there.
Okay. So these are more or less the angle you're coming from is people who you don't feel as much as you used to.
Correct.
Okay.
That's my angle.
Okay.
Yeah. So with that, I start off with LL Cool J. LL Cool J was that dude was hip hop to me. He was any and everything known to hip hop.
If somebody came to me and said, LL's the GOAT, well, we all know LL's history with the GOAT.
Right.
If they said LL's the GOAT, this will be my face.
Okay.
Nothing shocking about that to me. There's nothing about that to make me want to argue. Nothing about that make me want to be like, you're absolutely wrong. I could swallow that and act like you never said it.
Which is why he's on the list for me, because I liked whatever LL Cool J's music so much that when he made an album that I didn't like, it hurt me that much more. Like, this dude he was the pinnacle for me. So when I get Hey Lover and I get, certain songs that I can't stand, it hurt me more to hear.
Like, Hey Lover, like, what the fuck?
It's not my lane, man. I can't do it.
so was it the pink cookies and the plastic bag?
Pink cookies and the. You know what? Actually, if Hey Love came on right now, I wouldn't be mad. I hated it when it came out, but right now if it came out, I wouldn't be mad. Pink cookies in a plastic bag getting crushed by buildings. I couldn't.
Okay, yeah, that threw everybody off.
Yeah.
I think we
It
can
was
all
pink
agree.
cookies in a plastic bag.
But that's
the thing. I understand. I understand why it happened. I understand he changed. His life changed. Okay. So I understand why the music shift changed. But my taste as a fan didn't catch up to.
There's nobody that you can get away from that aspect of their career, which is why my angle more so was, careers that could have been great. Like, I disagree. I don't think that there's anybody who says like LL's career could have gone better.
I agree with that. I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Who has a better career than LL in the game?
Jay-Z.
Let's talk about that.
That made me I just got finished talking about Jinx. I was just saying, I was listening to Rocket, but this dude got his radio. He got all his own radio.
But that's the thing. You got to reach to Jay-Z to even find a better career than LL. His longevity, I would say, probably is longer than Jay's.
Yeah, could be. I mean, when was his last album?
I can't say. You gotta go to the
It's been a good decade.
Who knows?
No, LL, he had a project that, he released independently. I know that for sure. via
What year?
social media.
2013.
And I think it was an independent release, and I can't even say that I heard it to say if it was,
Yeah, I feel you.
Well, so let's move off of the LL conversation.
Yeah,
let's
let's
talk to
move
somebody
on.
else, right? Because I think your argument, is relevant. Who's had a better career than him? So let's go to somebody else.
Okay. Mine, well, I have a couple, but my angle was more or less careers that should have been great, that should have reached probably the level of like LL.
Okay.
And so one of mine was DOC.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Now we all know why.
Yeah.
We all know why that happened.
DLC could have been one of the greats.
The potential was so great
He
for
could have been one of the
DOC.
greats. I mean,
Him being tied in the NWA at that time,
yeah.
I think the potential was just so great.
I never knew he was
And-
tied into NWA like he was. Like
Oh,
when
yeah.
it actually happened, like when his album dropped,
Yeah.
I knew he was affiliated, but I didn't know like he was hanging with them cats.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, when you start talking about like West Coast legends, pioneers, things of that nature, and then when you look at, and not to say that you can draw a parallel, but it's kind of hard not to. Snoop, between Snoop and DOC, and that Snoop was like the predecessor. And I'm not to say that DOC could be a Snoop now,
Right.
but it's just hard not to imagine him being at that level.
Snoop was like the next prodigy after.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Or at the level of a Cube, or what I'm saying, something like that. So that to me is probably one of the most tragic. And for those that don't know, DLC, he was in a tragic car accident. He was, Dre brought him into the game. If you didn't see the NWA,
Classic album, no one can do it better.
right? Classic album, and then he lost his voice due to the car accident. So to me, that was just like a tragedy, like one of the very few of that magnitude where it's just like, damn, what could have been?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
That's a good one.
Who else we got?
I'm gonna go after that. I'm gonna go Cannabis. Cannabis comes into the game. Everybody's like, who is this kid? Dude is
Sick.
rapping circles around
Everyone.
rapping people.
He was a force of nature in New York that I don't think they had in a long time. Like
why didn't it happen?
Why didn't what happen? He got with the wrong people.
Yeah, I think
He got with the wrong
bad
people.
decision.
Wyclef wasn't the person to put Cannabis out. Not that
I think there's anything wrong with Wyclef, but
Nothing
I
wrong
think-
with Wyclef, nothing wrong with Cannabis. Those two shouldn't have been together putting his album out.
You think so, huh?
Yeah, I mean, because Cannabis's whole build up and buzz came from mixtape verses and killing shit in ciphers and guest appearances. Wyclef is none of that. None of that.
Like, I don't even have a problem with Forte being with Wyclef. Like I think that's a decent pair. Except that at that
Shit,
time,
that is a fall from grace as far as I'm concerned.
absolutely a fall from grace.
Was that on your list?
Yeah, that was a little later.
Forte was on it. Yeah.
Speed might be the biggest John Forte fan that I know of, and like half the people don't even know who Forte is. But
Half the people don't know what happened to John Forte and how crazy that shit is.
that's almost as gangster as Chi Ali.
Yeah. I mean, he was pushing big.
Wait, he was pushing.
John Forte.
Official.
Yeah.
But that just shows you like just how some of the realest street niggas like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't, it's no show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
this
really
nigga
street.
was, to me, he was as goofy as they come.
He didn't have to talk about being a street dude because he was a street dude.
But yeah, Cannabis, I don't think it was Wyclef. I think the nigga can't make songs.
Oh, there's that.
Isn't that where? But back in the day, isn't that where your A&R and all them come
That's
into
where
play?
your producer kind of come in.
Because
on your
Easy E
side.
couldn't make songs, but somehow we got classic songs.
And even though, and one could say, well, you could definitely say that, that's what Dre's role was for Eminem. Not saying that Eminem had the same issue. Eminem could obviously write, he wrote well, but I think Dre definitely directed him in certain areas.
I got
Okay,
you.
so
Yeah,
moving
I
on.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so who else we got? You know what? One person I thought, and this guy, Lauryn Hill.
Woo.
Who was that?
Lauryn Hill.
Hill.
Okay.
I mean, when I remember listening to the Fugees album, and loving it, listening to like her verses and studying them and just like, oh my God, she's killing everybody. We need more.
That Fuji's album is one of my favorite albums.
Need more of that. More of that. But then she came out with her solo album. Great album. Personally, I didn't get enough rhyming. I mean, I didn't get enough rhyming, and I felt like, oh, you know what? But she's an artist. You do what you want. Right? But then I was hoping for another freaking project. I didn't get that.
I think a Lauren without like the mental and the personal issues, a mentally healthy Lauren still goes in that direction of, the songstress / rapper type deal. I think that she continues in that direction. I don't really see her getting back to that. Just personally, it's hard for me.
I mean, you gotta remember, like, she actually tried to become famous singing. The whole thing with her going on Star Search or Apollo and all that kind of shit. She wanted to be a singer.
Well, he don't care.
You rap better than you sing, right. But and she'll admit that she raps better than she sings, but she still, that's probably like, how like two sport players.
Yeah, I got you.
It's like my lick is rapping, but what I really want to be is a great singer. But for her, like all the scandal that came out about her solo album also makes me look like almost kind of into that 3000 territory. It was like, is this project that everybody waiting for not happening because it really can't? Or is it not happening because she just don't trust the industry and stuff? Because a lot of the stuff that's on that album, they said really didn't have anything to do with her. It was kind of like groupthink.
Well, they said that they were marketing it as her doing everything, and that's not the case. I don't think it was like she wasn't doing anything. I just think more people was involved than they were, putting out there. So,
a lot of the creators.
But yeah, Lauren is actually definitely one that I should have thought of, but didn't.
Who else we got?
Okay, real quick. You said Eminem, and I agreed.
Okay.
I think Eminem.
He's a fallen career.
Yeah.
The hell out of here.
He could see, but the same argument really applies. He is how much better could his career have gone than it already has gone? There's really not too much room.
When is the last time you made a dope album?
A lot of people like the last album.
I like the last one.
I like the last one.
Yeah, I like the last one.
I do like the last one.
And his solo verses, honestly, his verses since then on his projects have
career.
All
right, so
there's no better career.
See, you're thinking career.
Well,
let's get off him. All right, cool. My next one is real. You got another one? Go ahead.
Oh yeah,
all right, go ahead.
Spit it.
Ja Rule.
Man, he had a run. He had a hell of a run.
Is this before or after the Fire Festival?
It's all included. This is all inclusive.
Yeah, Ja had a quick. I mean, that was one of the quickest drops.
What I do that?
No, it wasn't. Ja had years.
No. I'm saying one of the quickest
as far as like
falls.
how quick he fell.
Yeah.
Nigga.
I mean, it went from Ja was hot to you wake up to people looking at you funny if you listen to Ja.
Ja Rule had like a disco kind of fall off. Like, I don't think it had nothing to do with anything.
It had nothing to do with the music. It had nothing to do with
it was just like the one day everybody wanted to wear Timberlands, and the next day, like when Jay-Z came out and said,
button ups.
What was that? What did he say?
Auto-tune.
No. The auto-tune. Yeah. Jay-Z came out and said auto-tune is dead, and then everybody like, auto-tune shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's Ja Rule's fault. It's like dude ain't changed nothing about what he was doing. Nothing about the made him money. Nothing made him famous.
The only thing that's one of the ones where I can't even see like how it doesn't happen. Besides just 50 not existing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like how did Ja rewind the clock? How does Ja avoid that? Outside of just killing 50 when he's a baby or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a really good one. That's a really good one.
But see, my thing is that I've had this argument with people who kind of like, I mean, obviously not everybody's going to be a Ja fan, but I have the argument with people as to how big Ja was and the potential of who he could have been, because there was no stopping him at that point. You know what I'm saying? People forget that shit, like exactly how big he was. So then fast forward, not only is he kind of like a meme now. Then the Fire Festival shit happens,
Right.
which just compounds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so,
Ja Rule, the cautionary tale.
oh man, so yeah.
Who else we got? Anybody else? That's a good one.
The biggest one of all.
DMX.
There you go.
Wow.
I was thinking about him. Like he is. I mean, he was ferocious.
He's on fire. Yeah.
DMX got that.
Stupid
He got that same kind of thing that Tupac has. It's like he's got like a personality intangible that like you can't grow. Like people just like
You either have it or
You
you don't.
got it or you don't. Yeah.
yeah. And like dude probably could have made the same album for 20 years and nobody would have gave a fuck because it was DMX doing it. You know what I'm saying? People just like seeing DMX do his thing. Even now, like when he come back, like people be happy, like, oh my God, DMX over drugs. DMX got a new song. DMX was singing
Jingle bells.
like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like whatever you do. I mean, like it's absolutely like the deepest fall off, but he could still come out tomorrow and make an album and
Probably
sell
the only
double platinum.
one. Probably the only one besides Lauryn Hill that like it was like personal demons involved in the fall off. You know what I'm saying? Like not due to anything or anyone. It was just like you know the shit that made him great is the shit that fucked him up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's the most trash. So I was like, shit. If we getting down to the wire, we
I think
gotta
you're right.
mention
That might be the
DMX
biggest
album.
one.
Yeah, it is the biggest tragic, you know, hip hop tragedy to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't see anyone as big. You know what I'm saying?
No, I can't.
And this is the thing is that and just speak to the audience real quick. We're not talking about people who died or passed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we're not. You can't throw like a big in their pot. We're talking about people who are still living. So that's kind of what this discussion is based
Sure.
on. Yeah.
Sure. And I think that's an important discussion. So once you start putting in people that have passed or whatever,
Right.
it the discussion extends. It's a whole different type of conversation.
Absolutely.
But I don't even remember the last DMX album, and I don't remember that. I think but I remember a mixtape back when I was living in Columbus, and the mixtape had Cannabis verses and DMX verses, and I want to say
remember that.
and Nori verses all on one.
It was
like, oh my God.
Cannabis versus DMX, but then they had Nori
Right.
on it too. And basically, all they was taking is
Verses.
from, but not from albums. It was verses from
Freestyle,
mixtapes
whatever.
or freestyles, and they were just putting them back to back. It was a dope mixtape.
It was
Yeah.
Off subject though, but I never really understood that Nori thing. Like, what?
That is off subject.
Yeah. Nas explained it on Drink Champs. Check it out.
It's way off subject.
Yeah.
All right, Big Daddy Kane then Jinx.
Trying to sneak shit in.
Big Daddy Kane Jinx.
Oh, damn. Did it end for Kane after Madonna, or was it before that?
It was the photo shoot, right?
That's Madonna, yeah.
It's all that.
Okay.
That's
all
Playgirl
that,
or whatever
man.
that was.
yeah.
I think Big
No.
Daddy Kane is one that actually does have a lot to do with the music. Like he's one that wasn't like, all right, man, you went out there and cartooned yourself, and that's why people, kind of like whatever. But I think his music just
I think
wasn't-
Kane wanted to do what LL was successful at doing.
absolutely.
Kane's career, Kane wanted his career to mimic what LL's career actually became. He wanted that blueprint. It's just that LL was able to do it, and people, for whatever reason, wasn't messing with Kane for trying to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think they just had different expectations, and we can get into the colorism of it, especially back in the '80s. And shit.
Yeah,
That
that's
had
a good
lot to do
point.
with it.
That's the part that I think that to me was a larger part. I think that was to me, in my opinion, that was a large reason why it worked a little bit better for LL. But
I didn't think of that, but I can't even disagree with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I mean, shit, Kane had like some of them jams. He had some jams, and I didn't see anything wrong with it at the time, but I could see how. But see, my whole thing with Kane is though, he's still semi-active.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's to me, I guess he could be considered greater, but I mean, how much greater would Kane be considered? Because looking back on it, I
Kane
mean,
could've been
everybody
LL
still
Cool J.
considers him a GOAT.
That's true. That's true.
Or one of the GOATs,
And see,
you know, as we talked about before.
Right.
I don't think there's
Kane.
anybody who says like, oh, you know, outside of him just having like a better career, maybe more money. I don't think that there's much different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think people realize now like we was tripping in the 80s. Like Kane is still fucking ferocious.
Yep.
And he's done things after, you know, Big L, you know, shit like that.
Yeah, the Big L song.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely showed his teeth.
Fierce.
Since then, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows he still got it. So
I agree with that.
What about Rakim?
A fall from grace.
No
I just think that some people. I just think those guys, Kane and Rob and Cool G, are just products of just the '80s. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Even Run
so you saying
DMC,
there was nothing they could do?
I don't think there's nothing that any of them could have done at that time. I think at that time,
I just don't name out there. I just want to get your opinion on that. You know, I'm not even gonna argue it.
The transitions that were going on during that time. I mean, hip hop was basically just like shipping them in and shipping them out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that shit to the West Coast was doing cats in too.
Well, this the whole Dre movement, that whole thing, that era.
At that point,
so what you say? You said East Coast rap? Is that what you were saying?
Well, is the East Coast?
They had a fall in the early '90s.
They were all East Coast rappers. That we talked about. Well, no, we talked about DLC.
Well, no, we're saying all of East Coast rap could have been the fallen career. Like they're like the whole genre.
In that case, you know what I'm saying?
That's a really
you'd have to throw the West Coast in there.
That's what I'm saying.
And then West Coast,
because the South.
Because the South, it passed
true.
But that's a cycle. That's a cycle, and it'll come back around at some point. I think we're watching the transition happening right now.
Right.
I think, you know, just right now is the first point where hip hop is like kind of has a global reach, but that's another subject.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Let me ask y'all this though, as far as like the fall off. Like in general, do y'all find that like people falling off? Like, are there a lot?
That's where I was confused with this whole subject. Okay. Falling careers as opposed to falling off. I'm thinking of somebody that fell off that's not as sharp as they want.
Fall of grace.
Right. Right. But go ahead.
That's my bad.
That's cool. It's cool.
Because I look at somebody like Run DMC, like my favorite hip hop group of all time. Mm-hmm. But they did some stuff on the tail end that was like, yo, I can't rock with this, and I can't rock with it not because it's not my thing, but because y'all set a standard, and then y'all came out. And now you trying to sound like this new cat, or y'all doing this new thing. To me, that's a fall of grace. Mm-hmm. To me, that's like, yo, we had on one of our episodes earlier, we was talking about like the Beastie Boys do the same thing they do for 50 years. I don't mind that. What I don't want is the Beastie Boys to be out here sounding like the Migos.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's because they white. But anyway, I think we
wrapped up. Hey, what do y'all think? Let us know. Y'all know what to do. And thanks for listening.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Like, share, subscribe, goddammit.
That's because they white, huh? You're trying to get me fired.